welcome to the garden. Today I'm happy to bring you an update on our succulents. So we'll start off with our mist or not to mist experiment. So if we take a really close look, we've got tons of roots forming. It took a really long time for these to form. We don't have a 100% success rate here, definitely. Probably more like 30 or 40%. The line of misting is right about here. And so everything up from that line got misted just about every day. And everything down below didn't get misted virtually at all. And honestly, I don't think it makes much of a difference. We still have plenty of roots on both sides. These ones over here look really good. And so those ones were not misted, and they were set on my succulent potting mix. But really, I don't think it makes much of a difference, because the ones that are on sand and were misted, I mean, look at this one. We still have some beautiful roots. So I'm going to be planting those under the soil, and hopefully we'll start to get new plants. We only got a couple with actual leaves forming. So there's one over here. It's got some pretty decent leaves and some roots. And then there was this one over here. Try not to burn them, geez. But there, right there. So we really only got a couple of those. But I think once we start planting out these roots, we'll get a lot more growth. This is just my normal succulent mix. It's just a cheap potting soil, and then I've amended it with a little bit of perlite and a little bit of sand. So I'm going to be very gentle here. I've got some really nice roots on some of these. I'm just going to lightly set them on the soil like that, and then we'll just cover them. And then with just a sprinkle of soil, I'm just going to cover those roots. Just like that. We're really not going to overdo it. Man, these are beautiful. Look at the roots on that one. It's awesome. This one really has some stunning roots on it. Look at the growth on that. It's just gorgeous. Huge, healthy roots. So that one's going to do well. But that's about all I'm going to do. Then I'm just going to sprinkle like we did with our other ones, just to cover them. I'm not going to really bury them, because once those new sprouts form, we want them to be right on the surface. And then I'm going to water these in and basically treat them just like my other succulent plants. Let them dry out in between waterings. So if all these grow, we're going to have quite a few plants. I'm just going to pop in this cutting here. Then I'm just going to lightly water these in. Now that they have some decent roots, we can give them a little bit of water and they should start to sprout. There, we've got some roots on this one. So one of our Groptopetalums has a nice set of roots forming. That's awesome. So that one can be planted out too. So I'll just plant out a couple more of these around. But some of them look really nice. Got some new leaves forming, some nice healthy roots. So they're coming along great. Our Crassula leaves, I mean, it doesn't look like we got a single one to sprout. So I think cuttings are the way to go on those. And we have some of our cuttings right here. These were the ones we took a couple weeks ago. Some of them are actually starting to die, so we'll check those first. This one only had one leaf and a few stem segments, but it died anyways. So I don't know if the length of the stem has much to do with the survival. Yeah, that's another double, didn't do anything. I'm just composting those ones. Actually, that looks like it. We only got 2 casualties. That's not so bad. So we'll check up on a couple of these. I want to be careful though. So I'm going to get my little tools and just see if we can... Yeah, how about that? Can you see those roots? Got a couple nice roots forming on this one. So that one is doing well. I'm going to rebury it, and I'm keeping these a little more moist than I would normally keep the plants because I want those roots to form. Wow, look at that. Look at the roots on that one already. That was a brand new cutting. So the crowns are very, very easy to root. Dang, I didn't expect so much growth already. But real quick, I'll just check up on the other ones. No, so we'll just keep an eye on those. But the crowns are both actually rooting already, so those root really fast. That's really great to know. Our cuttings rooting in water, one of them is really just not doing anything. I'm just going to stick this in some soil. And our aloe, we'll be planting that out. But check that out. We've got, what is that? Is that a root? Could be a root. That's really cool. So we'll plant him out. And our last Crassula cutting does have a little root. So it just takes a little bit of time on some of these cuttings. But you can definitely root them in water if you want to. These are the old ones. You can see some beautiful growth on some of these. The ones with the old crowns are really doing the best, I think. But the ones without crowns are forming new ones. Look, this one you can't even tell that it didn't have a crown. And there's another one down there in the side, shooting out there. The ones that I took from upside down, just by accident, really aren't doing so hot. This one had a little node here that's since dried back, but the leaves are still green down below, so I think it'll come back. This one in front actually has roots, at least they look like roots, forming straight out of the top. How about that? So I didn't even realize that this was an upside down cutting. But now that I know that, I'm going to try and flip it over. Actually, maybe not, because look at that. I didn't notice this. We've got a new crown forming. Huh. So you know what? We'll keep that going. That's funny. So actually, just for fun, let's do something drastic here. Let's take a brand new cutting so that we can keep our new little crown and possibly keep these roots as well. So I'll try and strip these leaves, maybe 1 or 2 down at the base. Let's just do the 1. So I've stripped that 1 leaf, and now I'm just going to nestle this into the soil. So we might get 2 cuttings off of that one. And since this one's not doing much, we'll just cut that back as well. So the upside down ones really do some interesting things. We've got some beautiful growth on these as well. This is brand new. These are all brand new, so they look really good. We'll just slide this into the back here. Try and get that stem as deep as we can without damaging those roots. There we go. If we can get those leaves right about at soil level, that's perfect. The one that hasn't rooted yet, we'll just slide that in on the back here, just to get rid of that water glass. There we go. So these are our last 2 water cuttings. Alright, so that's all good. Our tiny pot is actually looking really nice. The Crassula has doubled in size. This was just one of those little tiny crowns, and it's now getting pretty big. The Graptopetulum has a couple points of new growth. There's actually another one along the back side now. So there's two little points coming off of the old stem. And the jade is still okay. It's pretty red because it's a little stressed out from all the sun. But I think this is a really cool little pot. I'm really happy with how this one turned out. And no drainage, but we're still growing strong. So I think it's a great little addition to the garden. Our other Groptopetalums are really looking amazing. Don't those look spectacular? We've got new shoots. Check that little guy out down here. We'll keep an eye on him. But these were all just cuttings. So they've really become well established. They're actually better looking than the pot that I took them from. This was the pot that we took the cuttings from, but we've got new growth on all these stems where we took the old cuttings. So we've got two beautiful pots where we just had one previously. Much to my delight, our jade are doing really well. Check those out. So this is all new growth. These were all cuttings down here, every single one of these. And look at all the beautiful bright green growth. That's all this. And this guy, they look really nice. So I know these are doing really well. But just to check up, let's see. Let's pick this one. See if we can take a look at just how the roots are doing. Curious. Okay. So, we've got quite an extensive set of roots. You can see all that soil they're gripping. That's pretty decent growth. And this was just a couple leaves. So now it's forming a new crown, and we're really starting to get a whole bunch of brand new plants off of these. So that's great. I'm not going to check all of them because I can see this one especially doing really, really well. The leaves really aren't doing much, but they're still alive. So we'll keep those going as well. Oh, there's a little resistance here. We might actually have some roots. I'm just going to gently see if we can pull this out for you here. That would be so cool. Oh boy, look at that. We have roots. So although most of them did die, this one is actually rooting, and some of them are still alive. So I'm going to keep those going as well. That's awesome. So we're going to get a bunch of new jade plants off of this. That's really great. That's a great success right there. And the old plants from when we took the cuttings, tons of new growth. They're just beautiful. So our jade's doing exceptionally well. So our Groptopetalum leaves are really producing some beautiful roots, and we've got them planted out now, so we'll keep an eye on these and see if we can get all these to grow beautiful new plants. Our Crassula cuttings, especially the crowns, are doing really well. All our old Groptopetalum cuttings are just bursting with new life. They look fantastic. Our old Crassulas, I've been kind of turning these around to get them to grow upright. They used to be facing this way. You can see they're kind of pointing that way now. So I have been turning those. Our jade plants are doing great, and everything is really coming along nicely. So I hope you enjoyed this update on all these succulents. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.